Crelander P8 mini laptop promises full laptop power in your pocket. Either we have finally reached ultra-portable heaven, or this is just another cute little tech toy designed to burn through your wallet. On paper it sounds insane. An 8-inch IPS touchscreen at 1920 by 1200, Intel N95 processor, up to 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gig or even 1 terabyte SSD, full Windows 11, backlit keyboard, a ton of ports, and all under 1 kilogram. What could go wrong, right? But here is the thing. Tiny laptops like this are notorious for exaggerated claims. After 2 solid weeks of using the Crelander P8 as my everyday carry machine, I have some thoughts. I have put the direct link to check current pricing in the description, but before you click anything, let me show you what I discovered after daily testing in the real world. Let us set expectations. The Crelander P8 mini laptop is marketed as a serious productivity device squeezed into a handheld form factor. According to the listings and ads, it promises desktop-class performance from an Intel N95 or similar chip, all-day battery life for work, study, and light gaming, premium build with a sharp 8-inch touchscreen and comfortable keyboard, a full laptop replacement that fits in a jacket pocket. Sounds ridiculously convenient, right? Like the dream travel laptop. But here is where things get interesting. When you actually run benchmarks, edit documents, watch videos, and carry it around, the glossy promises start colliding with physics and thermals. Reality check time. They claim desktop-class performance. What you actually get is decent Chromebook-level speed, which is fine for a mini, but nowhere near a real desktop. The Intel N95 is an entry-level Alder Lake N chip. In my tests, basic tasks like Chrome with 6 to 8 tabs, Spotify, and a couple of Office docs ran smoothly. But push it harder, 20 tabs, a 1080p YouTube stream, plus a light photo edit in GIMP, and you start noticing stutters and brief freezes. That is not desktop power. That is budget laptop territory. The plot twist. With such a tiny chassis, the fan has to work overtime. Under sustained load, it gets whiny and the chip throttles down to keep temps in check, which kills the performance spike the marketing hints at. Next claim. All-day battery life. Listings throw around 7 to 10 hours. Let us be real here. That is mathematically impossible with this hardware and this battery size. In my mixed-use test at 50% brightness, Wi-Fi on, YouTube, writing scripts, and some light photo editing, I averaged about 4 to 4.5 hours before hitting 10%. If you are just watching offline videos at lower brightness, you might squeeze 6 hours. But true all day, not happening unless your day is very short. They also pitch it as a full laptop replacement. What you actually get is a fantastic secondary machine and a fun travel computer, but a compromised main laptop. The 8-inch display is sharp and colorful, but Windows at that size is tiny. I had to bump scaling way up, and even then small UI elements and type menus are a pain to hit with the trackpad. Speaking of, the pointing experience is the biggest limitation. The trackpad is understandably small and a bit finicky, so I constantly found myself plugging in a mouse. So mobile that you need to carry accessories. That is not really replacing a normal machine. Here is where things get interesting. Build quality versus price. In photos, it looks like a mini MacBook. In hand, it is good for the price, but not premium. The aluminum shell is mostly solid, but the keyboard deck has a tiny bit of flex if you press hard, and the hinge has a little wobble when you tap the touchscreen. Not a deal breaker, but far from the premium feel some listings suggest. And wait, there is more. Some sellers list versions with 16 gig of RAM and 1 terabyte SSD at prices that look criminally generous. I dug deeper through multiple review sites and teardown photos, and it seems like the RAM is indeed soldered and legit, but the SSD quality can vary. A few users reported getting off-brand drives with slower speeds than advertised, closer to older SATA numbers than fast NVMe. So the advertised specs might technically be true, But the real-world speed is not always what the numbers imply. Let us break down a few key areas: display and sound quality. The 8-inch IPS panel is surprisingly good for media. Colors are punchy, viewing angles are solid, and 1920 by 1200 resolution on that size looks razor sharp. Watching Netflix or YouTube on it actually feels great. But the speakers are classic mini laptop speakers. Thin, a bit tinny, and easy to drown out in a noisy environment. Usable for YouTube and calls, but you will want earbuds for anything serious. Battery life. Here is what nobody tells you. Tiny devices with x86 chips are fighting physics. My rundown test streaming 1080p video over Wi-Fi at 60% brightness drained it in just under 5 hours. Light note-taking could push beyond that. Gaming or heavy multitasking dragged it down closer to 3. Claim all day. Reality, half a day with normal use. Fast charging through USB-C is a plus, though around 50% in roughly 45 minutes with the stock charger in my testing. Build quality and portability. It feels like a solid little metal brick in the best way. Tossing it in a sling bag or even a big hoodie pocket is easy. The keyboard is cramped but surprisingly typable once your fingers adjust, though if you have large hands, expect more typos at first. Hinge can open wide for tablet-style use, but it is not as sturdy as premium UMPC brands like GPD or One Netbook. Performance and thermals. For office work, YouTube, streaming, and light indie games, it is totally fine. Older titles like Skyrim on low settings or 2D games are playable, but do not expect AAA gaming here. After about 15 to 20 minutes of sustained load in Cinebench, the CPU clocks drop and the fan ramps up. That is the trade-off of stuffing a laptop chip into a tiny shell. Here is what the marketing does not mention. Some listings show strangely perfect 5-star review patterns. When you dig into real user feedback on broader sites, you see a more honest mix. People love the form factor but consistently mention battery life and fan noise as weak points. Verdict time. I would call the Crelander P8 mini laptop a buy with caution, not an automatic yes and not a hard skip. If you want a main laptop for serious work, editing, or heavy multitasking, save your money for a proper 13 or 14-inch machine. You will get more performance, better battery, and a usable keyboard and trackpad. But if you are a tech enthusiast, a traveler, a student, or you specifically want a tiny Windows machine for remote desktop, writing, coding on the go, or media consumption, this thing is genuinely fun and surprisingly capable for the price. Just go in knowing the limits. This is a specialized tool, not a magic pocket desktop. Stay savage out there and do not let the spec sheet fool you. If this review saved you from wasting money or helped you find something actually worth buying, I have put the link to check current pricing and read more real user reviews in the description. And hey, if you do decide to buy through my link, it helps fund these deep dive investigations without costing you a cent extra. Drop a comment if you want me to compare the Crelander P8 against other mini laptops like GPD or One Netbook, and tell me what you want to see tested next. Hit subscribe if you like honest, no-nonsense reviews. This is your channel name, exposing the truth behind the tech, signing off.